Hey Ginger, how you doing? This is Danny Gokey.
Hi, Danny. I'm so excited to be interviewing you. I'm a little geeked out.
Well, I'm honored. That really means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, obviously starting with American Idol, but
Yes, you were there, huh, for those days.
I was there. I was one that voted you through. It was all my votes.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, where would you be? You certainly wouldn't be on tour with Natalie Grant. I mean,
I should say it again. I wouldn't be right.
I said you wouldn't be on tour with Natalie Grant if it hadn't
Yeah, that's for
happened.
sure. I don't
Uh,
know where I'd be. Let me tell you, it'd be an
I know,
interesting,
right? Um,
interesting thought.
I'm so excited that you're on tour with her, but I'm more excited about you singing the prayer.
Let me. I'm sorry, I got my kids in here. Let me
I
jump out
hear
of
them.
here.
Yeah, they're so cute.
Thank you. I got a big family. I'm just getting my wife her tea, and then I'm gonna jump on this radio call. Ginger, thank you for your patience. Sorry, we've been
No, not at all.
dealing with all this family stuff today, and I got my kids out on the road. So it always adds like an extra element.
It's a blessing,
Here,
but
babe.
it's
This is
also
your tea.
challenging.
This is your tea right here. All right, it's a little hot. All right, I'm jumping back. All right, go ahead, Ginger.
I was just gonna say, not only is I excited about you being on the tour with Natalie, but doing the song "The Prayer." That's one of my favorite songs in the world, and up until now, no one's been able to touch, in my opinion, Josh Groban and Charlotte Church. Like
Yeah.
that's you guys are neck and neck now. Like I can't pick. Like you guys have different sounds, but
Well, yeah, sure. No, it's different, right? And that's the thing. Like, um, it's the 20th anniversary of the song. You know what's interesting about that is that we did that song. This is our third year doing the Christmas tour, but we did that song just on a whim. We're like, how about we just end it with that song? And it turned everyone loves it, and we recorded our own version. And it's funny since it's been on radio. Yesterday when we did it, man, phones you see so many phones that just go up and people recording our version. It was kind of neat to see that.
well, it is, and the funny thing is you have three songs in super heavy rotation on our station right
Oh
now
wow!
because you got two collaborations. You got Natalie Grant with Prayer, and then you have Tuyo with
Yeah,
Social Club
social.
Misfits,
Yeah,
and then you have If You Ain't In It, and where those are being slammed. But you know what? My one of my favorite songs you ever did was not only To Tell Your Heart to Beat Again, but the Spanglish version. Do more Spanglish. That's all. That's
yes.
my vote.
All right, I love that. I love that you say that. My new single that we're coming out. Well, I don't know if we're doing the Spanish, but I'm doing a Spanish version of. We're releasing it in
Or do all Spanish.
February.
Yeah.
And so, like, I love being able to sing. I love the fact that I'll be able to do be bilingual and to sing in a different language. The prayer I sing in Italian. That's even
That's
that was a
hard.
whole new experience.
Well, even Josh Groban didn't even know Italian when he sang it. So,
He didn't, huh?
no, when he started singing Italian stuff, he basically just learned how to say it. He some of the stuff he had to just slowly learn, like what he was singing about. But I mean, it's such a cool thing to have you on there. I am so stoked about you being on Winter Jam. I want to know about you.
Yes, I am really excited about being on Winter Jam. It's going to be, man. I think it's just going to be a. I've never done it before. I think it's going to be a really great experience. Doing for me even. Uh, I'm looking at Winter Jam because I just finished my first headlining tour called the Hope Encounter Tour. I'll be doing it again next year. But that took so much out of me. It's a 90-minute set. Financially, the risk and the show and everything that we've done. I'm so glad I get to jump on a tour where I get to not wear myself out, but can bring my best show, my best 25 minutes that I got, and I get to just bring an experience I want to bring without wearing myself out. And there's a bunch of other bands on Winter Jam that I get to just get close to and have great relationships with. I'll tell you, one of the things about touring that makes touring great is all the relationships.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing I look forward to.
I think it's a sad thing that most people just go, "Oh, Danny Gokey from American Idol," when it's so much more than that. Just everything that you've went through. Um, I don't know if most people know you lost your wife right before you auditioned for American Idol, and
Yeah.
then you not only went through that, but you found love again. But
Yes.
I don't know how. I mean, literally, I would not only have to tell my heart to beat again, I would have to have an elephant jumping on top of it. Like I can't even imagine how you got past that to love again. But I know it's through God. I understand that, but still, the flesh is so.
Yeah.
I mean, you just can't imagine doing that. Now you have a book called Hope in Front of Me, which I'm about to read because I have not read your story, and I think people need to know how much more you are beyond just. I mean, it's not a bad thing to be associated with American Idol. That's how you got your big start, but it's so much more than that. I mean,
Yeah.
the new album Rise. Oh my gosh, like masterpiece and the comeback. Like I still play those like heavy.
Wow.
I mean, I love everything you do, and I'm saying that as both a fan and a radio person because I want to hear them when I'm playing my show. I want to hear the song
Wow.
play.
Yeah. What an
Uh,
honor. What an honor to do. Thanks so much. It's so encouraging for you to say all that because, I mean, quite honestly, I've learned, when things in life don't go the way you want them to, you just have to be open. Because just like you said, it's difficult on the flesh, but it's more difficult when you're going through something difficult. Because listen, we can't avoid it. But when you try to get your own way and be stubborn and angry and stuck in bitterness and unforgiveness, that's when it gets hard. One thing I've learned is just to be open. Because American Idol was this huge experience. But I got dropped. I just lost my wife a month before going on American Idol. I get on it. It's the biggest music show of all time in the history of shows. And I go sign my first record deal, and then I get dropped. It was so disappointing. And right away, though, I had to just keep trusting God. Because if you don't make it off American Idol, percentages and chances and statistics show you're not going to make it. But 5 years after the show, 5.5 years after the show, is when I got my first #1 song with Hope in Front of Me. And so it's just like, man, like God has his ways are higher than our ways, his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And just want to encourage people out there to, keep on keeping on.
and someone told me one time God's timing is flawless. And you have to really sink that in. His timing is flawless. The very
Yeah.
second, the microsecond that
Yep.
he wants you to be at a certain place, that's where he'll put you. And now you have lace it and you have babies.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
nothing
3 of them.
ever, nothing ever replaces everything. Sophia, that experience, I think it enriched your ability to love further.
It absolutely did. And I'll tell you this, like I'm still seeing the blessing in the hand of God. There's something interesting when you say yes to God in your darkest moments and you decide to worship God in a dark moment and like I said, not fall away. I mean, it's easy to ask the questions and we all go through that. But these questions probably would never get answered, not till we get to heaven. But when you say yes to God in the moment, say, God, I don't get it, but I'm going to trust you. I'm going to believe in you, and I'm going to give you everything I got. I'm telling you, I'm going to write another book in the future, and it's going to talk about even more of the blessings and the goodness of God that I've seen in my life, even still from the moment when I said yes to God, even though, when she passed, I said, God, I'm still going to serve you. Though you slay me, I will trust you. And so it's worth it. I'll tell you that.
And then when you got dropped from your label and you were in this situation, did you ever think you would not only have the comeback, it becomes a masterpiece? I mean, and if you ain't in it, I mean, what? I mean, it was really the prayer. I mean, for sure.
It was, honestly, man.
It was
I mean,
all
honestly.
about being Tuyo. That's a lot of pandering.
No, I like it. I like it. It's working for me.
It does. I mean, you get all those in there. That's the great thing about radio. We can just make it all up. But I think it is, and he says he is closest to us when we're at our weakest, and that's the most tender moments I've had. I went through a 13-year abusive marriage,
Wow.
and I I cried one night and I just said I did the same thing. I was like, I'm not going to quit serving you. I'm going to have a hard time, but I'm not going to quit. And I said,
Yeah.
I don't even know where to start. So I flipped my Bible open and I was crying so hard I couldn't see the words. And it happened to be the book of Esther. And the only thing I could read was, you found favor with the king.
Wow.
And I was like, I just shut my Bible and I'm like, oh my gosh, and then I just start praying. It's like,
Yeah.
there's
Wow.
nothing else about it. I mean, I just want you to know, I completely, I don't just admire you for your artistry. I mean, which, by the way, most people that go on American Idol are forgettable. Like, and only because there's so many. But
Right.
if
Right.
I heard you sing, a Sesame Street song or something else, I would be like, there, that's Danny Gokey. Like, I think that's what's so special about you. You do have something so original, and you have such a great story of courage behind you that you're in your walk with the Lord. And I'm so happy to have you on Winter Jam. It's a monster, right? It's like a 20-piece circus.
It really is. It
But in
really
a
is.
good way. So I got to ask one more question because this is killing me. I want to know, you've already collaborated. I mean, you collaborated with Lionel Richie on the stage, and there's some pretty incredible collaborations you've done. Is there anybody main like that? Just I want to do a song with this person
Hmm. I haven't thought about that in a
besides
while.
me, of course. I mean,
Yeah, besides you, Ginger,
yeah, I
it would
don't
be.
sing. Don't ask.
I feel like it changes because there's so many new artists popping up, and the way now music is being consumed, it's not just radio anymore. Now you have different areas like Spotify and YouTube, and iTunes Music, where other artists are starting to come through these platforms. I have to sit and think about that. Back in the day, my dream, the Every White Boy Dream collaboration was with Brian McKnight. I
Oh,
used to love
back
Brian
to
McKnight back
one.
in the day.
Oh. I could sing that back to one all over again.
Oh yeah,
One
I've
last
sang it.
try.
I've sang it a bunch of times. Let me tell you.
Oh, that's what you need to sing on Winter Jam. I know you're not going to, but that's okay. And also, too, I mean, if you're taking requests, somebody like Need to Breathe, like totally pull it out of the woods or something,
Yeah, sure,
go
sure.
from cross the aisle somewhere like where nobody's going to expect you to go. That's the way to do
Right.
it. Well, I know you have lots of interviews to get to, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you're doing, will do, and keep it on because I am enjoying every minute of the ride of Danny Gokey.
Thank you so much, Ginger. You're so sweet. I feel so encouraged getting away from
and
getting from this phone call. So
and I
thank you so
want you
much.
you and your family to have an incredibly blessed holiday season. And we will see you in January when you hit Michigan.
Awesome. That's Ginger. Thank you.
Thank you, Danny.